Hello, today I'm sharing Sephora bestsellers I think are truly worth the money and can work for pretty much anyone. This is one of my favorite videos to do. Each time the Sephora sale rolls around, I comb through the various categories on the Sephora website to find bestsellers that stand out to me the most that I think you'll really enjoy and you may want to grab while they're on sale. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I have a lot of great things to share with you, so let's go ahead and get into it. This is the second Sephora sale video that I've done during this spring Sephora VIB sale. I'll have the other one up in the corner and down in my description box along with all the products I'm sharing. I try to link as many products as I can through the YouTube shopping icons, but they don't have every product available even within one retailer like Sephora. I don't know why that is. So sometimes you won't see every item that I show in a video through those icons. You need to check the description box. Now I do have the dates, codes, and specifics down in my description box for you too. The code for everyone is YAYSAVE, and everyone can save 30% on Sephora collection products right now through when it ends on April 15th. And you can shop and save as many times as you want in store or online. If you're Rouge tier level, you're already able to save. Other tiers go live on April 9th, which is just 2 days from now. So I wanted to go ahead and get this video out for you in case you're planning. Since I test and review so many foundations, it just makes sense for me to start there. I think either of the two that I chose can work for you no matter what your skin type is, depending on what you're looking for. And actually, I could have put either one of these in my next video. I chose two others for that video, but these could easily fit into my next video as well. So Estee Lauder Double Wear, there's a reason why this has been a bestseller for years and years and years, and why it works so well across all skin types. If you have not tried my application method, it has helped so many people out. I have a couple of videos on it. I'll link one up here in the corner and down in my description box. This works so beautifully across all skin types for giving a bulletproof, natural looking foundation that's very customizable. I can take this from light medium all the way to full coverage depending on the amount I apply and how much I build it. It mixes well with other products, moisturizers, other foundations. If you're wanting to have them last a little bit longer throughout the day, this will last you from morning till night and keep your makeup looking perfect. This is actually the foundation I have on today. It always looks beautiful. It never looks heavy or cakey. Speaking of a foundation always looking beautiful, House Labs Triclone Skin Tech Foundation. I think this surprised a lot of people. This gives medium to medium full, naturally radiant coverage that works across all skin types. A lot of times radiant coverage doesn't really work on oily combination skin, which is my skin type. I'm pretty normal around the perimeter of my face and can even be dry, but the center of my face gets some shine breakthrough, and I can wear this and not feel too oily or greasy looking. And this also wears well throughout the day. It's just a beautiful, flattering foundation, and I simply refuse to be without either of these, which may give you a slight clue as to what my next video will be about. If you have dark under eye circles or hollows or both like I do, all these medium coverage concealers that keep launching may not be cutting it for you. There are not many medium full to full coverage concealers that are actually flattering if you have dry under eyes or texture. So I think if you have any of that going on, Huda Beauty Faux Filter Concealer is a must-have. This is a bestseller that I think is truly worth the money. I reach for this when I want medium full to full coverage that's flattering and smoothing. It also gives me a little bit of brightness in the process. Now, one thing I need to point out about this concealer is that I didn't like it at first. I tried blending it out as I usually do with the warmth of my fingers, and I found it to be cakey and unflattering. I don't know what made me try it again later with a damp sponge, but I loved it when I applied it like that. So that is how I apply it. Now, if I find I still have a little bit of darkness at the darkest point of my under eye hollow, my tear trough, I can layer another dot there and then pat it out with my finger, and that works just fine. But I did want to make that note that my blending method is different for this, but I do love this concealer. It's one of the few medium full to full coverage ones out there that's actually flattering, hydrating, and simply in existence. At this point, everything else seems to be medium coverage almost. I have another Huda Beauty complexion product here that is a bestseller that I absolutely love and is completely worth the money. This is my second or third Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in Pound Cake. So that is I'm gonna call it a shade, but it's pretty translucent to me. This is one of my most consistently used setting powders for my face. I don't usually use this under my eyes. I use something else under my eyes that we'll talk about in my next video, but I just love this for setting my face. I usually press it in with a poof or with the sponge that I applied my foundation with. It meshes with my foundation really nicely and it just kind of acts like a second skin. It blurs my pores and sets my makeup flawlessly. I don't usually bake unless I'm really trying to combat shine, and then I'll let it sit for a few seconds before I continue to press it into my skin. But I love this. It does have kind of a sweet scent that I find really pleasant, but I just think this is a best-selling product for a reason. It works nicely across all skin types, including my combination oily skin that's turning 49 this year. I know they say as we get older, you shouldn't use powder. Some of us need to, or our makeup slides everywhere, and this works really well for me. The tagline of my channel is Everyday Beauty Made Easy. On a daily basis, I want to be able to apply my makeup as quickly as possible and get out the door or go about my day. I don't want to have to fuss with a product. I'm just never going to use it if I have to fuss with it. So this bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury is one of those products that just lets me apply it and go quickly and easily. I do love that it's refillable because when I'm going to have to repurchase it, and I'm going to, I don't have to repurchase the entire thing. I do love that it's aesthetically pretty. I've gifted this to people because I love it so much myself. So the reason why I love it so much is because, number one, the pan size is huge. So if I'm using a big fluffy bronzer brush, I don't have to think about it. I can just swirl my brush in and apply it directly to my face. It's never patchy. I don't have to spend any time blending out some patch that landed on my face. It diffuses out so beautifully and gives me a nice natural finish. There's no shimmer. It just looks natural and beautiful every time I'm in shade 2. We test and review a lot of products with what we do. So to have consistent products in our rotation that just get used over and over says a lot, you know? This is a bestseller. I think is completely worth the money, especially if you can get it on sale. Now, if you're more of a cream bronzer person, I have 2 here that I think could work for you beautifully depending on the format that you want. Both of these are sheer and buildable and neither leave a greasy finish behind. I think they work beautifully for all skin types. So we have Merit Bronze Balm and Say Sun Melt. I feel like a lot of people will probably be recommending these. Now I really love the oval shape of Merit Bronze Balm. It's one of those features I didn't think was going to make a difference, but it really does. It just glides across the face so easily and contours to your face so much nicer than a round stick bronzer, and it's one of those sheer formulas that just blends out so naturally and beautifully, as is Say. Okay, so here we have Charlotte Tilbury in shade 2, Merit Bronze Balm in CN, and Say Sun Melt in light bronze, and all 3 shades work on my light medium skin tone just fine. They're all very sheer yet buildable and natural looking, so it really just depends on the formula that you want and what your preference is. I've been into blush for a really long time, even before it was the trend, even when everybody else was into highlighters, I still loved blush. I could have recommended several in this video, so for me to be able to recommend one best-selling blush I think is truly worth your money is nothing short of a miracle. But when I saw that Too Faced Cloud Crush blushes were bestsellers, I just automatically thought, okay, yep, this is what we're recommending because I use these all the time. I mean, that's an exaggeration. I do rotate blushes, but these are probably the most consistently used since they came into my life. There's just something about this formula. It applies effortlessly. You don't have to tap off your brush first to, you know, tap off some kind of patch that you'll have to blend out. They just blend out beautifully. They're buildable. There's no sheen, but somehow I always feel like I look so lit from within when I wear these. They kind of airbrush and diffuse smooths your skin. And the compacts are so cute too. So the shades that I have, the first one that I got was Velvet Crush, and I love the formula so much I ended up with 2 more. I have Candy Clouds, which is probably my most worn lately. It's what I have on today. And I have Golden Hour, which is also so pretty for spring and summer. I don't think you could go wrong with any shade that you get. These have been more than worth the money for me. I mean, I have 3 and part of me wants to get another shade because they're on sale, which I think is absurd with as many blushes as I have, but I mean, these get used. I have a couple of these Sephora colorful luminizers. I just love these. I think the quality is great, and I wanted to mention them in this video since Sephora collection products are 30% off. The shade I applied a bit of today is Sparkling Honey, which is kind of a soft rose gold. If you like a really pretty highlighter that doesn't have glitter particles, I think you'll really like this. And I think these are the perfect size because, you know, highlighter tends to last forever, at least for me. These are already priced really nicely, and you can get them for 30% off, which is a steal. I've been reaching for this lately pretty much every time I use highlighter. I have a couple other shades and they just always look beautiful. I almost always recommend some kind of Natasha Denona palette in my Sephora recommendations videos because I just really love her quality. There are some high-end palettes that I don't really think are worth the money, but I have always gotten my use out of Natasha Denona palettes, even her mini palettes, the ones that are just the 5-pan palettes. I use those at home and I travel with those frequently, but I think because it is sale time, it's a great time to get a full-size palette if you have been eyeing one up. So Natasha Denona I Need a Nude is what is on my eyes today. I used it on my lids and to line, and it's just a great neutral palette that will give you great one and done looks or easy full eyeshadow looks, whether you're looking for something for daytime or night. Today, all I did was swipe Whisper all over my eyelid, and then I deepened it up with filigree in the outer third just a little bit, and then from my crease almost up to my brow bone I applied Wit and I lined with Silhouette. Another great option I think is her pretty new Hyper Natural Face Palette. I shared this pretty extensively already in another video. If you haven't seen it, I'll have it linked up in the corner and down below in my description box. I've gotten a lot of use out of this palette already. I love a good face palette. Now, I did make some notes about skin tone. If you have deep or dark skin tone, this probably isn't going to be the palette for you because these bronzers aren't very deep. There were some pros and cons to this palette, but for me, with my skin tone, this has really worked out nicely for me, and it has a nice compact size compared to a lot of her other palettes. I do think this is a great time to pick up some kind of a higher end palette, whether it be face or eyes, because those are pricier items. Speaking of pricey eye products that are best sellers, I have talked for years about Armani eye tints, and I stand by that. I still use my Armani eye tints, even though I probably don't talk about them nearly as much as I used to. I guess I feel like I kind of talked about them a little bit too much and they were probably getting played out. So the 2 shades that I wear the most are 9 Cold Copper and 44 Rose Gold. Okay, I just swatched these 2 shades. So here's 9 Cold Copper. It's a really, really pretty, flattering metallic taupe. It doesn't dry up and make your lids crinkly. Let me put it over here. I feel like the lighting is a little better over here. And then there's the Rose Gold shade. I love the shape of the applicator. It allows me to get right in the inner corner and apply it very easily close to my lash line. I just apply it to my lids and blend out the edges either with my finger or a brush, and I am done. I love a quick, easy, one and done eyeshadow that's flattering and wears well all day. These do wear beautifully for me for several hours. They wear even longer if I put them over an eyeshadow primer. These are set down as they are, and you can see how smooth they look. I won't be without these. I think these are definitely bestsellers that have been worth their money. I can't tell you how many times I've repurchased these. Now these could have gone in my first Sephora sale video I did, which was all about new products at Sephora you'll love, new makeup launches. But when I saw they were bestsellers, I decided to put them in this video because they are worth your money. Not that those products aren't if they are bestsellers too. This video is just usually a little bit longer, so I decided to put them in here. So these are the Too Faced Kissing Jelly glosses that I fell in love with the moment I finally tried them. I kind of set these to the side at first because I don't know, they just looked a little bit young. I didn't think I was really gonna like these, but then I opened my first one. I think it was actually the blue one, which is Cotton Candy. So these smell like their names. This one's Cotton Candy, and this one is Sour Watermelon, and this is Pina Colada. And they're very sheer, and they are so nourishing and thick but not sticky. I love the way these feel on my lips, and they just leave a sheer tint behind. Like, this doesn't leave your lips blue, it just tints them, and I mean, this smells like cotton candy. These are so fun and nostalgic, and I use these way more than I ever thought I would. These have been worth every penny. I throw these on all the time. So if you haven't tried these, this would be a great time to try them for that really nice sensory experience that actually does something nice for your lips in the process. The lip shade I've had on throughout this video is the Makeup by Mario Super Satin Lipstick in the shade Bronx Baby. I really enjoy this formula. Oh, I forgot to take off those eye tints. Oops. So it's just this kind of neutral pinky brown that has a creamy feel to it that feels like it's conditioning my lips, and it has a satin finish, and it wears really, really well, especially for a bullet lipstick, which is something I appreciate because a lot of bullet lipsticks wear off pretty quickly, and if they don't, they can be pretty drying or have a matte finish, and I prefer a creamy or a satin finish and some longevity in the process, and this gives me that. And they have a nice metallic closure, which I always like too. So I was happy to see that these were bestsellers that I could recommend to you in this particular video because I've just really been liking this. I'm actually contemplating getting another shade. And you know, something that just dawned on me is that I forgot to tell you up front that I'm not including every category in this video. Sometimes I get asked that and I forgot to note it up front. So if you're wondering about some products that you're not seeing, you can always search my name and primer, for example, since that's not in this video, to see other videos where I've recommended primers or a brand or a category up in the YouTube search, or you can search for something in particular under the header on my main channel page, or it may be in one of my other Sephora sale videos that I've already done or that may be coming up. I have two sunscreens that I wanted to recommend to you that I think work really well for all skin types. So first I have here, it's the Summer Fridays Shade Drops. I've just really enjoyed this for my sensitive skin, and it is mineral. So this has broad spectrum SPF 30. It's also got some really nice skincare ingredients in it, and this functions really well for me as both a light moisturizer and sunscreen in one. It may not do that for you if you have dry skin, but it does that for me. The other is Innisfree, which I need to restock myself, which is a little bit less expensive. So I wanted to be sure and recommend that to you too. It also has some nice ingredients. I mean, this is the time of year to be grabbing some sunscreen, so I didn't want to let that slide. This is an extremely popular product from Glow Recipe. It's of course a bestseller that works so well across all skin types, even dry skin, even sensitive skin, because it's effective yet gentle. So this is the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow AHA Night Treatment, which is a powerful overnight resurfacing mask that's formulated to exfoliate, hydrate, and brighten, but in a gentle way. So if you've maybe not been able to use products like this in the past, you may be able to use this. I have really sensitive skin. I have rosacea, and my skin does really well with this. I apply this after my other skincare. Now, I don't use retinol on nights that I use this since they're both actives, but I just do my regular skincare routine aside from that, and then apply this after and go to sleep, and I wake up with refreshed, brighter looking skin. Exfoliation is just so important, especially as we get older, because our cell turnover slows down, and this is just something that stays in my routine, and it's been worth every penny. And while I'm at it and talking about Glow Recipe, I do want to also mention the best-selling Watermelon Glow Hyaluronic Clay Pore Tight Facial. This is a non-drying clay mask. What does it have in it? With hyaluronic infused clay, BHA, PHA, and watermelon enzymes. It unclogs pores, smooths, and hydrates for softer, clearer looking skin. A lot of clay masks are very drying, and this one isn't, which is probably why it's a bestseller. I've said in the past that I thought at first Glow Recipes packaging was too cute for their products to be effective for my skin. I guess I thought it was mostly for younger people, but it's been such a pleasant surprise for me. I love so many of their products. It is effective for my skin, and I just wasn't expecting so many of their products to work so well for me. I am going to do a brand review for you because I've tried a lot of their products. I do want to try them all first, so I'm grabbing the few that I haven't tried during the sale, but I've shared a lot of Glow Recipe products on my channel. You can search Glow Recipe on my main channel page under the header where the search box is to see all the various products that I've talked about, but I do love them overall. I was sniffing this to try and give you a descriptor of the scent, but it's just very kind of sweet and mild. They use natural fruit enzymes, things like that. So it's very mild. I can't not have a Sephora bestsellers video without including Drunk Elephant Protini Polypeptide. This has been a bestseller for a long time, way before Drunk Elephant became popular to kids. For those of us with extremely sensitive skin who want something lightweight with fantastic ingredients without fragrance, this works really, really well. There's a reason why brands have been trying to dupe it for a long time now. So this has 9 signal peptides in it. If you're a subscriber of mine, you know how strongly I feel about having peptides in your skincare routine, what great things it can do for you. There are also some other great conditioning, anti-aging, hydrating ingredients in here. It doesn't feel greasy or heavy. It's got this fantastic dispensing mechanism that, I mean, by now most of us are familiar with. It's fragrance free. It just sinks in so easily. No matter what I test or try out or what new skincare product comes into my rotation, this stays. This always ends up being rotated back through because it's just a good staple product that works really well for my skin. This is a bestseller for a reason. It's not a fad product. It really is good for a lot of us with sensitive skin. If you've had any kind of perfume or fragrance on your wish list, I always think the Sephora sale is a great time to get it because, you know, if you can save any money, why not do it, right? So these are 2 that I reach for probably the most during the warmer months, spring and summer. So I figured I would mention them to you now. Now, you've heard me mention these before, but it's that time of year. So this is Replica Beach Walk. The description on the bottle is sun-kissed salty skin. This is one of those scents that's like the beach, but it doesn't smell like sunscreen or coconut. It's just one of the best beach scents that I've ever smelled because it's a little bit different. It gives me the feeling of being at the beach, but without smelling like sunscreen. It's just a beautiful, beautiful scent that I always recommend if you love those types of scents, but you don't want to smell like copper tone. The other is Giorgio Armani Acqua di Gioia. And I feel like you can almost tell from the bottle that this is a more aquatic scent. It's so beautiful. This is actually my 2nd bottle. I was out of this for a while and I just decided I couldn't live without it. It's got a clean citrus, jasmine, gardenia, warm woods. I'm sure there are some other notes too. I'll have them here on the screen. I just find this to be very uplifting and it's just perfect for spring and summer. There are different iterations of this too, but I love keeping the original in my fragrance wardrobe. So if you're looking for something that not everybody wears, but it's really beautiful, check this or one of the flankers out, or a beach walk from Replica. Either one, you can't go wrong. Now, I know both K18 and Living Proof Triple Bond Complex are both bestsellers. This is my choice though, the Living Proof. I just love what it does for my hair so much more. This is a hair strengthener. So a lot of hair strengtheners and hair masks weigh my hair down quite a bit so that I can't use them in the morning if I'm gonna go somewhere that day. This doesn't. You apply a couple pumps to clean damp hair and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And it does work best if you use heat after, and that's it. That's all you need to do. You don't need to rinse it or do anything. It just keeps my hair shiny and healthy and strong, and it's a staple that I won't be without. I definitely see why this is a bestseller. It's been completely worth the money. Another hair product that has been worth the money is the Way Treatment Mask for fine to medium hair. So if I want to use just a mask to really nourish, hydrate, condition my hair, I'm able to use this also in the morning and can go somewhere without my hair being weighed down or flat, which is really nice. Also, the detox shampoo, which is downstairs in my shower. I meant to bring it up here, but I actually used it this morning, so it's still in there, but I actually get the big refill and just pour it into my bottle because that's something that I and my daughter use on usually a weekly basis to get rid of any buildup and just make sure my hair is nice and clarified. That's really, really important. And Way Detox is the best clarifying detox shampoo I've ever used. It doesn't smell bad like a lot of them do. It doesn't strip my hair or dry it out. It actually leaves a shine to my hair. And again, it's a bestseller for a reason because it works so well for so many of us. I feel like I could say that about so many products in this video. If you haven't seen my other Sephora sale video I've done, new makeup and beauty products at Sephora that you'll love, I'll have it linked here for you. I hope you enjoyed this and found this helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss my upcoming Sephora sale videos, including my haul. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.